KY3 News starts now.
Good morning. Friday is a first alert weather day. We're watching for a potential icy day. Here's Brandon with that look ahead.
Yeah, still, Paul, we're looking at that to start maybe even late tomorrow night, probably 10 or later. And it should be light to start with. And the good news, if there's any good news in it, is that models have come down a little bit on amounts. We don't want to focus so much on the amount of it, though, because it doesn't take much to cause slick roads. And so it's still going to be an issue where temperature is going to be key, of course. Get it down to about 30 degrees, and we could have some slick roads for the morning commute on Friday. And overall, this would not cause widespread power outages, but there is also going to be a gusty wind with it, and it'll transition to rain as the day goes on. So essentially, the forecast is unchanged. Stay tuned for any changes. If anything, we want it to go a little more north. That would help us. But look at the temps this morning. Holy cow, is it warm out there. Mid to upper 40s, even have some low 50s out west, but a lot of cloud cover. And again, a little bit of fog down to the south especially. It's not quite as thick as yesterday, but Harrison's dropped off to about 3/4. And I think it was down to 1/4 for a bit down there in Branson. So it varies, but I think overall we're looking at a mostly cloudy day. And temperatures are going to be a little tricky because the sun will make a huge difference. It did yesterday. I think we get to about 58 in Springfield. Futurecast here, hour by hour, agrees. But again, limited sunshine, cold front will come through. We got a few showers possible, and then it gets colder tonight. You're going to notice it. I'll have the rest of those numbers in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Brandon. Missouri Governor Mike Parson here will deliver the State of the State address at 3 o'clock this afternoon. He wants to continue funding a program that helped local governments repair roads and bridges. Parson negotiated a deal last year to provide $50 million in matching funds for road repairs. He plans to put a dollar amount on what he wants for the program this year in his speech today. Springfield's own Crystal Quaid will deliver the Democratic response. Now, a traffic alert in Ozark. South Street between 15th and 17th Streets will close at 9 o'clock tonight. Crews will install drain pipes as part of the widening project. That stretch of road there should reopen by 5 tomorrow morning. The application period for something called the Neighborhood Preservation Act is open. Lexi Spivak tells us what this does, who can benefit, and the way this can impact your community. Lexi.
Yeah, good morning, Paul. Happy Wednesday morning, everyone. This Neighborhood Preservation Act is essentially a tax credit program that homeowners and developers can use in areas throughout their community and especially throughout Springfield. Now, the qualification is that this home that someone could be rehabbing or buying or working on has to be in what's called a distressed community. That's defined by the Department of Development, or it has to be in an area that makes 70% less than the median income. So I did talk to Rusty Worley with the Downtown Springfield Association about this and how it can be used. We're going to talk more about that at the bottom of the hour.
Lexi, what's the history of this program here? Do people use it very often?
Paul, so that was actually something that I found extremely surprising when I sat down and actually initially called Rusty just to get some information on this. He said he doesn't really know that this is used at all here in the Springfield area. So we're going to talk about why that could be, going along with some of the planning aspects of it. But then again, he's going to talk about how this can really impact our community outside the city center.
Thank you, Lexi. Missouri lawmakers want to help domestic violence victims. Nikki Ogle explains how easier access to vital records could help more victims become survivors.
It's another impediment for us.
Janice Thompson is a survivor of domestic violence.
But it was about 4 hours that he held me in the home and assaulted me.
Before Thompson made her final escape, she had the chance to get her personal documents together to take with her. But according to Lisa Farmer with Harmony House, not many like her have that precious time. In fact, Farmer says many victims show up at her door with just the clothes on their back.
So when they flee with nothing.
These advocates say in order for survivors to start over, vital records are, well, vital. Farmer says only a fraction of the victims at Harmony House have any source of income, and they cannot afford even a $15 fee for a copy of their birth certificate.
So it ends up falling to the shelters, and we spent probably about $5,000 last year, just on birth certificates.
That's because it's not just the adult survivors who need identification, but their kids do too. Now, Missouri lawmakers will consider waiving the fee for birth certificates one time for domestic violence victims who are working with an agency like Harmony House.
I think the general public does not understand all of the barriers that survivors face in trying to leave and how hard it is and how dangerous it is.
Farmer and Thompson say the fee is just one of those barriers, and removing it could give more victims a chance to survive.
But it really is a big deal because all these little steps can be the one setback that sends you back into a dangerous situation.
If you're in a domestic violence situation, start putting together a safety plan now. Get those documents, medical records, money, and medication packed up, then keep it all where your abuser can't find it. The city of St. Louis is facing a lawsuit from its own top prosecutor. Kim Gardner alleges a conspiracy to push her out of the job. The city's first black circuit attorney says there's a racist conspiracy working against her.
This is about the people, the will of the people. This is about a small few who will get together to stop and thwart equal protection under the law. This is about fairness and justice, and what is at stake is not a Kim Gardner. What is at stake is the integrity of the whole criminal justice system.
The city denies the allegations. The police union called it an attempt to distract from Gardner's upcoming legal deposition. Meantime, a special prosecutor is looking into her investigation into former Governor Eric Greitens, who stepped down after being charged by Gardner. The elementary school in Goodman is helping another school hundreds of miles away. You might recall an EF2 tornado destroyed that building in April of 2017. Well, now students and teachers at Goodman are giving back to a primary school in Union Grove, Alabama. A tornado extensively damaged that school last week, so Goodman is accepting new library books that will be sent to that Alabama school.
It's something that we know a lot about, and we feel like we can use our resources well and use things that we know and provide for them.
The school is looking for books that are geared toward children from pre-K through the 2nd grade. Brandon, it's looking like a busy couple of days in the weather department.
Yeah, it really is. This is a look at Futurecast coming up for tomorrow night into early Friday. You can see the purple. That's potential for ice. The forecast remains relatively unchanged, and we'll have a closer look at it coming up next.
Number 1 in the Ozarks. You're watching KY3 News Ozarks Today with Paul Adler and First Alert weather meteorologist Brandon Beck. The place to be, on air, online, on the go.
The Ozarks Deals Greater Springfield Garage Sale and Marketplace is back at the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds E-Plex, January 25th and 26th. Don't miss these bargains.
There's something here for everyone at our garage sale.
Estate planning. So what's it mean? That's why Allen & Richter is here.
We look at your assets, listen to your goals, and match the estate planning tool that's right for you and your family. We want to ensure you have control of your things during your life and after.
Things like living trust, estate taxes. Proper planning protects your lifetime of hard work. Estate planning is much more than just a will.
And it's something we all need to think about.
Let us help you, Allen & Richter Law.
We switched.
We switched.
I switched to Chevy for my family. I switched for more room.
Hey.
We switched.
Why do we switch?
For adventure. For this.
See why people are switching to Chevy.
I'm never switching back.
Current competitive owners get $2,750 total cash allowance on most Blazer models. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Dude, I'm just so pumped we got all this McDonald's at such a great price.
Right now, buy a sausage biscuit and any size Coke for just $1 each.
With a house full of women, it's every man for himself.
What is it about hanging bras in the bathroom like Christmas ornaments? If I don't hang my underwear in the bathroom, that would be terrifying.
Tim Allen is the last man standing.
7 days a week at 6:30 on the Ozarks CW.
The Ozarks Deals Greater Springfield Garage Sale and Marketplace is back at the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds E-Plex, January 25th and 26th. Don't miss these bargains.
There's something here for everyone at our garage sale.
Simple solutions for your spring break plans. Tonight at 6.
510 breaking news. Crews are on the scene of a crash this morning. A truck driver hit a bridge pillar this morning. This is at Division Street Bridge over I-44. We're hearing the driver and a passenger are okay. That truck had a load of lettuce on board. Want to get a look at the forecast of the day ahead, and you see the word Friday right up there above my head.
Yep.
That's the day we're focused on.
Well, and it still may be late tomorrow night. So I'm going to take you through, and keep in mind that we're still Wednesday, okay? So there may be some adjustments in timing, but I'm going to start this tomorrow at 10 o'clock. And it looks like we're going to have a pretty dry atmosphere in place. The temps are going to be in the 40s tomorrow and then begin dropping. And then as we head into the nighttime, watch what happens here. There's a lot of purple, and now we're getting close enough where we get some higher resolution models starting to key in on this thing. And it's got a quick switch over here to some freezing rain, even into Arkansas. So keep that in mind. There are going to still be some changes in this a little bit, but I think during the nighttime, this will lift northeast, and we may see at least a glaze of ice by the rush hour on Friday morning. So that's the key here. If the temp drops soon enough, then the roads could be slick. It's going to be, I think, really close as far as the roads are concerned. And there's also going to be some wind involved with this. I think during the morning hours Friday, it looks like gusts could be at 30 miles an hour. So that could lower the threshold for bringing down a few power lines. I don't anticipate widespread power problems because I don't think there's going to be enough ice to do that. There's 6 o'clock in the morning, and see how it lifts to the north. So this is going to be kind of a quick hitting first round, and everything should lift north with time, and the temperature should warm up as that happens. This is 10 o'clock. Then we go to noon, and it's just about out of here where we're going to get a break, and then we wait for the next round, which should be liquid as we head into the late part of Friday and Friday night. That could bring at least some localized flooding. So it's still something we're watching. It's a first alert weather day because of that ice potential. For this morning, we've got the fog again, at least in spots. Harrison's at a half mile. It's about the only spot seeing anything significant, but it is thicker as you head south. So if you live in Arkansas, maybe you're headed to Little Rock today, down to Clinton or something like that, you're going to run into thicker stuff as you go south. Lots of cloud cover. It's overcast when I look up, but I tell you what, yesterday, some of you saw the sun, some of you didn't, and it made a difference in the temps. We've got a really warm start. So if the sun can come out for a bit, shoo, I'll show you Futurecast here in a second. Some of you are going to want to put shorts on. It's 49 now, 53 in Joplin, 44 in Harrison. And watch what happens here. We got a front on the way. Should get through Springfield just before lunch. But look down here in Arkansas. Wouldn't that be a kick in the pants? 70? Are you kidding me? Yeah, I'm not that gutsy, but certainly could get into the 60s. And we'll see a slight drop behind the front and maybe a few rain showers in the afternoon. Not anything widespread, but it's going to be a fairly warm start to the day at least. So I'm going 58 in Springfield, 65 in Harrison. Those numbers will vary, and maybe a few rain showers this afternoon. Tonight, oh, is it going to be colder? 25 to 30, but the wind chill likely in the teens at this point tomorrow morning. So way different. And then, of course, still focused on late tomorrow night into Friday. Still think even at 42 by Friday afternoon, I think it could go warmer than that late Friday night before the front comes in. Certainly colder air looks to be the trend Sunday through early next week.
One Tennessee firefighter, Brandon, stands above the rest, and he's on his way to becoming a world record holder. Firefighter Brandon Berridge is a towering 7 feet tall. Waiting for the video to show it. Guinness has now measured him to see if he's indeed the tallest firefighter in the world. World record or not, Berridge's height comes in handy on the job. His colleagues say he's the go-to man for changing smoke detectors. And when there's no room there at the firehouse dinner table, he says he can always use the top of the fridge.
It is the perfect height for me. I don't have to slouch over or anything like that, so. And the table's usually pretty full. So I grab a spot.
Well, yeah, it works. Berridge says he loves his job, and he says his coworkers are like a second family. A Massachusetts 6-year-old is crafting homemade clay koalas for a noble cause.
To help
help the animals who have been hoarded by the Australian bushfires.
Owen Colley's mom says when he learned of the devastating fires, he just wanted to help, as you heard, so he started making those really adorable creations one at a time. Proceeds benefit an Australian volunteer group called the Wildlife Rescue South Coast. Owen has raised about $1,200 so far. His class is now involved in the effort at school, and he couldn't be more excited because he says it's better than watching TV. This giant panda here is named Ding Ding, right behind me. Enjoyed playing in the snow at the Moscow Zoo. Ding Ding climbed there to the top of the fir tree, boom. But it broke under the weight of the panda. The panda soon realized, you know what? It's just easier to play in the snow, roll around a little bit, do a flip, and then chew on the branches instead of climbing and falling. Every year, the Moscow Zoo collects hundreds of unsold fir trees, puts them into the enclosures. Cancer treatments are costly for Americans. The financial hardship and the percentage who say they've skipped treatment because they can't pay for it.